Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, and let's continue on with our story. Now we're in front of the palace, and Emmeline is talking. I wonder what's taking him so long. Emmeline decided to invite Rod to join us on our visit. One of the gods offered to get Rod for her, but he has still yet to return. Another stands with us by the gates, ready to escort us into town. Why does the king even keep these incompetent fools if they cannot find a single person? Excuse me. Emmeline, maybe we should go look for Rod. But then, what if he gets here as soon as we go searching for him? I sigh. I will go look for him. You can stay here. But you don't need to run errands for me. She has yet to ask me to do anything. What does she think a maid even does? I look at her solemnly, not answering her. Finally, she relents. Thank you, Lucette. I incline my head just slightly before walking off. I want to take a moment to recognize Emmeline's her characterization, her physical drawing, her appearance on the screen. At first, I saw her and I thought, oh God, she's just some ditzy blonde or something like that, you know. But the more I hear her talk and the more I hear her speak and the more I get to know her character, the more I appreciate her, the more I appreciate her design specifically. It's, understated, yet, it's very pretty. And she seems, it's very correct in her empathy and sympathetic character. And that's what I find her character to be more and more. She's not flippant or obtuse or any of those type of things. She's, she seems to be very caring and very aware of other people. So, and there's an inborn empathy within her. And her character design fits that. It's very simple and very elegant in an understated way. So, I just wanted to mention that before we continue on. So, let's get back to the story. So, I incline my head just slightly before walking off. Now we're in the plaza again. The courtyard. I feel like a babysitter. I cannot believe I have to search for Rod. This is only slightly better than being dragged around by that broom. Yes, I forgot about that. Mr. Broom. I turn around the corner and nearly bump into someone. I take a few steps back just in time. No. Oh, it's Fritz. Princess? Wait. How does he know? Wait, what? He knows we're the princess? I look up in shock. Fritz's surprise mirrors my own. Fritz, where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. He pauses to stare at my clothing. Why are you wearing a maid's uniform? Fritz, you remember who I am? I would never forget you, Princess Lucette. But it does seem like I am the only one who remembers you. What is going on, Princess? Lucette. The only people who remember me are witches, fairies, and... Fritz, are you... I stop when I hear the sound of approaching footsteps. His rod. Fritz turns at the sound and then stoops low into a formal bow when he sees Rod. Your Highness. Rod's impassive face twists with annoyance when he sees me. Rod doesn't not even acknowledge Fritz as he walks past him to stop in front of me. Shouldn't you be attending my sister? Fritz. I don't understand. Prince Rod, do you know why the princess is dressed like this? Rod seems a little shocked. Rod is clearly just as surprised as I am that Fritz remembers me. Rod, you recognize her? Fritz, you remember the princess too? But if you knew, why didn't you say anything when she first went missing? And can someone explain to me why she's attending to Princess Emmeline? This is... Lucette. Fritz. I cut him off before he can ask any more questions. I feel Rod's gaze in my back as I turn to look at Fritz. No more questions. But Princess, right now, I am a palace maid. What? It is a long story, and I have no time to explain now, so do not ask. Fritz is clearly discontent. He seems to struggle for a few moments before he finally sighs and nods. Yes, Your Highness. Though it is nice to hear someone speak my title, it will not do if Fritz calls me that on accident. It's just Lucette for now. But I turn to face Rod. Emmeline is waiting. Rod. What? The guide could not even deliver her message? Fritz. Where are you going? Emmeline wants to visit her friend's shop in town, and she wants you to go with us, Rod. Town? Ordinarily, I would not mind Fritz joining us. But right now, he might just be unnecessary in company. He may very well give me away. Rod barely wants to speak with me when there's just the two of us. I doubt Fritz would make him more sociable. Fritz. I am assuming that accompanying you is not an option at this point. Yes. Fritz looks down a moment before looking at Rod. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Your Highness, but since she refuses to let me do so, please look after Princess Lucette in my place. Lucette. Ridiculous. I do not need to be coddled. Even if I did, I couldn't care less if I am hurt. Right. I will do my best, Sir Fitzgerald. Who said, I cannot tell if he is being genuine or not. Fritz bows to the both of us. Stay safe, Lucette. And you, Your Highness. Rod turns and begins to walk away without another word. Rod, come on. Now we're back in front of the palace gates. Rod is silent as we make our way back to the palace gates. I'm still thinking about what he said to Fritz earlier. Why would Rod agree to Fritz's request? Because he just wanted him to leave? I stare at Rod's back as he walks in front of me. Sometimes I cannot figure out what he is thinking. Emmeline. Rod, Lucette. Emmeline beams when she catches sight of us. Are you ready? Rod crosses his arms. He does not look very happy with his sister. Even though Rod is younger, I cannot help but think that he often sounds like the older of the two. Rod. I am busy, Emmeline. I can't keep dropping everything whenever you want to leave the palace. Excuse me. Emmeline. I'm sorry, but I just really needed some fresh air today. Why? You get plenty of fresh air on the palace grounds. Emmeline. I felt the need to be off the palace grounds. Emmeline's face drops as she looks down at the ground. Rod lets out an exasperated sigh before stepping inside the carriage. Come on. What? Just for an hour, okay? Thank you. So, we're in town. And, presumably we're going to, Emmeline's friend shop. I soon come to realize that it is easier to walk around town now that everyone has forgotten who I am. The atmosphere around town feels brighter. All the spiteful stares are gone. Some man is talking. Princess Emmeline. Emmeline. Oh, how are you doing? Is your wife feeling better? Lucette. Emmeline has responded to most of the people who know her. She seems to know a good majority of the people in town. I hang back as Emmeline speaks with the man. The night escort hovers somewhere nearby, watching for disturbances. We're going to take longer than an hour if she continues like this. Rod. I'm not going to rush her. He said, don't you need to return to the palace to continue whatever work it is that you were doing? Rod raises an eyebrow at me. I do have to get back to my studies, but my family always comes first. If this makes Emmeline happy, then I will gladly come with her to town. It's a small thing. Lucette. Happy? I looked more closely at Emmeline. She is smiling, but then she always smiles. I do not understand. Rod. She's more at ease talking to the townspeople sometimes because they don't judge her. Why would she have to worry about being judged? It's clear that everyone adores her. Emmeline takes the man's hand in hers as she wishes him well. Rod points out the gesture. See that? That's goodness. You could learn something from my sister, Lucette. Is goodness pretending to be interested in the lives of strangers? Emmeline eventually says her goodbyes before walking toward a familiar store. This is the toy shop I visited with Emmeline and Rod before. I glanced at Rod and noticed the expression on his face. He seems conflicted. But why? But before I can ask, Rod marches in front of me and decisively pushes to open the door. Before we get into this, I want to reflect on something. Lucette assumes that Emmeline is, just being happy, talking to people or something because I don't know, like that it's fake and that she's doing it to just to pretend to be good to people. But in my mind, I honestly feel that Emmeline really cares about people, that she really, and there's valid evidence of it, that she knows these people and really cares about them and wants to know about them, and that she's not pretending. So one could make an argument that she would be a good princess, really. I mean, yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. So, well, let's continue. So, when I enter, Emmeline is already hugging the shopgirl, Viorica. And we have Viorica and Emmeline here. Viorica. Emmeline, you look as beautiful as ever. Oh, please, I like the same. You, on the other hand. Emmeline steps back before nodding, a bright smile on her face. Emmeline, being in love suits you. When is the wedding? Oh. Viorica's getting married? I didn't realize that. Okay, Lucette. Wedding? She is already engaged? I got a small movement out of the corner of my eyes and turned to glance at Rod. I noticed his fingers clench into a fist before he quickly hides his hand behind his back. No, I think Rod actually liked her. Though his expression is as impassive as always, I notice a tenseness in his shoulders. Viorica. Doesn't mind that I haven't set a date yet, but it should be soon. Would you? Viorica trails off when she notices the rest of us. Hello, Rod. Here's Rod. Viorica. His tone is surprisingly static. Lucette. The last time he was here, I was sure he sounded friendlier. Veronica. So what could I help you with, Emmeline? Looking for another doll? Lucette. Another doll? But Emmeline is not interested in dolls. Emmeline. Oh no, I'm just here to see you. I can't stay for long since Rod has things to do. Rod. Emmeline, I'll wait for you outside. Oh, okay. That's so sad. I wonder if Rod actually liked Veronica. And, it's sort of an unrequited love there. Anyway, Lucette is speaking, or thinking. I know it's not my job to follow Emmeline around, but I am not at all interested in hearing her talk to this girl. Does she even want me here? Okay, we have a choice. Go outside or stay with Emmeline. You know what? I think there's something really... I really want to hear Rod's story. I really... There's a part of me that's starting to feel bad for him. I mean, I'm starting to think that he really cared about Veronica, and Veronica is now starting to, or is getting married to someone else, and that must be really painful for Rod. So, and Emily wants to just catch up with her friend, so I'm going to go outside and talk to Rod, and because I really think he needs someone to talk to. So, okay, I'm picking go outside. Lucette, my time might be better spent trying to improve Rod's opinion of me. If I could get him to tell me precisely what I have done wrong, I could make up for it. I hope that would give me a good deed. Now, I wish he wasn't thinking that way. I wish he was thinking that Rod might be in pain, So, well, anyway, I curtsied to the two girls. Excuse me, Your Highness. I shall wait outside with Rod. I coughed to clear my throat. With the prince. Emmeline. Okay, I won't be long. I moved to stand next to Rod, who was leaning against the wall. Oh, that's a very pretty picture of Lucette in her maid uniform leaning against the wall with Rod. With his bunny. So, Rod sighs in annoyance. Rod. Why do you keep on following me? Tell me how to rectify whatever wrong I have done to your family. That's Lucette. This again? I could not help but scowl at Rod's answer. You spout all this nonsense about goodness, but refuse to help me. How is that good? That was Lucette. Rod, you haven't given me any reason to help you. What? If you're not serious about genuinely learning how to be good, then I'm not interested in helping you. Maybe I can catch him off guard by bringing up his response. in the toy shop just now. Fine, then I will make normal conversation. Who is Viorica to you? Oh yeah, Rod. He's having a reaction to that, so. Lucette, has she done something to hurt your family too? Rod, Viorica is a childhood friend. She is not like you at all. Oh, then why were you acting so cold to her? You obviously did not want to be inside the shop. Okay. Rod looks away from me and absently kicks the pebble on the ground. That is none of your business. I sigh, disappointed with Rod's reaction. Rod turns away from me as Emmeline exits the shop. Ready to go? Emmeline nods with a small smile. The two of us begin to make our way to the palace again. No, we're in front of the palace gates again. By the time we return to the palace, evening has fallen. Emmeline, I hope we're not late for dinner. The minute the carriage doors open, we are greeted by two familiar faces. Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros stand before us. Alcaster. Princess Emmeline, Prince Rod, I was on my way to look for you when Sir Mithros informed me of your whereabouts. He glares at the knight escort, and the knight shrinks back. Sir Alcaster turned sharply to me afterwards, his eyes narrowed. Why is he looking at me like that? Alcaster. It was getting late, and the Queen was worried. Emmeline. I'm so sorry. Oh, here's Mithros. Mithros. Princess Emmeline, Prince Rod, it is almost time for dinner. Please, let me escort you inside. Sir Mithros gestures for them to follow him. I am about to follow after them when Sir Alcaster suddenly moves to block my path. His eyes are cold. He opens his mouth to say something, but then closes it and shakes his head. We're dismissed, girl. You may go back to your quarters. He said, But, that is an order. His gaze is piercing. Even when I was a princess, I was not able to stand up to that gaze. Yes, sir. After dinner, okay, we're in the palace hallways. After dinner, I make my way back to the room assigned to me. As I walk down the hall, I notice Rod heading in my direction. Rod? He suddenly grabs my arm and pulls me away down the hall. Where are you taking me? Rod does not answer and just continues moving until we reach an unfamiliar door. What is going on? Rod cuts me off by placing a finger on my lips. He looks around wearily before finally pulling me in through the door with him. No, looks like some kind of interior dungeon hallway. This place. I have heard of this place before, but I have never seen it. Is this the secret passage that leads into town? Ward does not answer me. He simply keeps walking, and I see no other option but to trail after him. How is it that you know this place? He still refuses to answer. You deaf? Ward suddenly stops, and I bump into his back. I stumble back with a scowl. Ward, you ask too many questions. Because you refuse to answer any of them. I glare back at him until Ward makes an exasperated sound. Lady Parfait is the one who told me about this passage. It makes sneaking out of the palace easier. Who said? Parfait? Ward, she did not give me any explanation as to how she knows of this place. There are only meant to be 2 copies of the keys. The king has one, and Sir Alcaster has the other. Then why do you have a key? Don't tell me you stole it from the king. I'm not a thief. Lady Parfait also has a copy. She saw fit to provide me with a key for my own use. What? How does Parfait have a key to the palace? To this place? You'll have to ask her that yourself. Once we step into town, I realize where it is that we are headed. We are going back to the Machen. Oh. Okay. We're in the Machen in the common room, and the file is getting on long, and we'll have to stop here. But I just want to say, honestly, thank you for listening, if you're listening. And please, like and subscribe. That'd be really helpful. But if you don't feel that way, and that isn't your thing, I'm not trying to force you into something like that. That's not who I am, So, but I hope you, in either case, I hope you enjoy listening, and keep listening. I mean, I don't care. I mean, that's what it's here for. And I want to enjoy the story, and I'm hoping you enjoy the story with me. So, I'm going to cut the file here, and I'm gonna go on for another file. So, and I hope you continue to join me. So, thank you for listening again, and I hope you're here for the next file. So, let me stop this now, and we'll be right back.